These past days, I went to far-flung GKKs to preside their Fiesta Mass. It is timely that in the midst of this Philippine pandemic mess and healthcare scandal after scandal, there are GKKs whose patron saint is San Roque celebrate Fiesta. The GKKs of San Roque are glimmers of hope and are patches of healing to the suffering body of the Philippine archipelago. It was not an easy journey for me to the GKKs. An expert driver like Buboy is a must. Buboy drove through slippery roads, pressing the four wheels skillfully hard. We went up and down the hill. It rained before the fiesta day. That's why the car behaved badly. In other GKKs, I prefer to walk up and down the hills. Mountains and hills, actually. At my age, gone is the rider dream in me. I have passed that stage already. Right now, I have nothing to prove to myself but to enjoy this God's unfathomable gift of nature right before my eyes. Journeys on these pandemic times indeed are not meant to be smooth and easy. Likewise, life is never a smooth journey. Life is never a smooth journey. The GKKs are lively communities. They seem to be a happy bunch of people away from the center of Glan Parish. With proper health protocols, the Mass is celebrated with great music. The altar is decorated with fresh community-grown flowers. Could it be that they have leaders who journey with them? Could it be that GKKs or GKK members are leaders themselves who don't need a push to be responsible and accountable for the celebration of their Catholic faith life? And here's more. Zone leaders as a support system join in the GKK's faith life. Well, this is the Catholic faith life down here in the southernmost part of the Philippines. This is the real-time leadership of people in GKK San Roques. Last Sunday, I presented the leadership of Jesus being shared with Peter. As Jesus prepares his disciples for his journey to the cross, he made Peter the community's leader. Peter's leadership, as I see it, is being tested on the Sunday Gospel reading, Matthew chapter 16, verses 21 to 27. After choosing Peter as a leader, Jesus tells his disciples that he will, quote, suffer greatly from the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed on the third day, be raised, unquote. Upon hearing this, Peter reprimands Jesus. He seems to have the fearless guts to do it. I hope we have similar fearless guts like Peter when there is a need to reprimand our leaders. Peter seems to have forgotten that he is a leader now. Perhaps he does not understand why this will happen to Jesus. And perhaps he does not agree that Jesus, being a leader, will suffer and die. I guess Peter has his own mind. He has his own mind and style of leadership. His and only his style of leadership. That's why he could not just connect to what Jesus has made of him and renamed him as Rock. Eventually, his and his leadership style shall lead to his downfall. But Jesus catches him before his unnecessary downfall. Peter has not even become a full leader yet. It is even unhealthy for Peter to be trapped in his selfish leadership motivations that will cause his untimely, shameful downfall. Jesus said to him, "Get behind me, Satan. You are an obstacle to me. you are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do. In our selfish desire and godless leadership motivations, we ultimately become satanic. Friends, in our selfish desire and godless leadership motivations, we ultimately become satanic. Truly, the mind of Jesus is not the mind of Peter. The leadership style of Jesus is not the leadership style of Peter. For Jesus, a good leader is a selfless leader. He does not think of himself, of how to preserve himself when things get worse and beyond his control. He is willing to suffer and to offer his life for the sake of people he serves. Moreover, the leadership style of Jesus doesn't block the plan of God. Yet Peter, I think, is only trying to figure out what is happening to him and to Jesus. He has that mindset still of a leader who raises arms and shoots guns to protect the people he serves. Like the rest of the Israelites in his time, he expects for a military leader who wages war to win their battle. In Filipino tongue, utak pulbura pa si Pedro. This is the cross of Peter being utak pulbura. It is not easy to erase the pulbura in his subconscious and to the rest of the disciples' subconsciouses. You see, Israelites have suffered so much from the wars and invasions of other kingdoms. Many of them have lost lives, lost their faith, their livelihood, their freedom, and their identity. In the time of Jesus and Peter, under the Roman Empire, all people have wanted is peace and justice, abundance of food on their plate, free from diseases, self-determination, and to practice freely of their faith. Is this too much to ask? Personally, I don't blame Peter and the disciples for being utak pulbura. I don't blame them for that. But Peter must listen to Jesus. He must welcome his suffering, his cross, and must carry it in order to become a good leader. He is not denied of leadership. He is not denied of leadership, but he must learn from the good leader, Jesus, who is crucified and dies on the cross. Jeremiah, in the first reading for this Sunday first reading, chapter 20, verses 7 to 9, Jeremiah is not spared of suffering. Being the prophet leader, he is mocked and is subject of laughter, all because he listened and followed God. Jeremiah tries to be silent and not to do with God anymore, but silence doesn't bring him peace. Like Jeremiah, Jesus will experience the same thing while he carries his cross and while he hangs on the cross. Paul, as a good leader, suggests in the second reading that we, especially the leaders, must offer ourselves, our bodies, to God as true sacrifice. For him, a leader has to discern, to really ponder and ask for God's intervention to do what is good and pleasing and perfect. This Sunday, in this Mass, we continue to pray for both our civil and religious leaders. God bless you. Happy Sunday, everyone.